Hi. Today we'll plan to discuss about one of the general topic which is associated with the field of journalism. The term interview. Lot of news gathering methods are there or news sources are there. Interview is one of the important news source in the hands of a journalist, especially for reporters. Lot of news sources we know, the beat reporting, the wire service or the news agency, crime, election, parliamentary proceedings, business, science, accidents, disasters, natural calamity and the like. The press conference is one of the important news source. Then let us consider the interview. Most of the people, whenever they are getting an opportunity to listen the term interview, all of them will think about it is one of the important method or mode to get a job. The job interviews are common there. Most of the times, even in private, public and corporate sector, most of the employees conduct interview to evaluate the communication skills of the candidate. Here, we consider the interview as one of the important tool for the news collection process or the news gathering method. Whenever we deal with interview, definitely a journalist should experience it is an art or the art of interviewing techniques we plan to describe here. Two important terms associated with the interview you should consider are, one is interviewer and the second one is interviewee. Interviewer is the person, those who initiate the steps for the interview, or simply those who ask the questions is interview. Then interviewee is the person, those are answering the questions. The two terms, make sure interviewer and interviewee. Different type of interview first you have to consider. Then let us deal with the interview as a news collection process or news gathering method or a news source. Depend upon the aim, depend upon the method or depend upon the purpose, the interview can be classified. In research, observation and interview, the purpose we deal with is the same. Through the observation we collect information. Through the interview we collect information. Through research also we collect information. Research is considered as the process of systematic effort to gain new knowledge, or it is considered as a voyage from the known to the unknown. In interview also the same process we conduct. Something we know, depend upon the known information we are asking the questions to the interviewee and revealing new information and present the same before the readers or the viewers or the listeners. The same process takes place there also. Then one by one let us consider the different type of interviews. The first one is personal interview. Personal interview. It is also known as the face-to-face interview or individual interview. Sitting two people together, the interviewer asks the questions and interviewee answers. Here, whenever we consider the amount of data, comparing with some other methods of the interview, the amount of data will be high compared to some other formats or some other types. But in connection with the expense, huge expense there we are to meet. If we want to conduct a personal interview with a person, those who reside at abroad, there we have to go. The traveling expense, the accommodation facilities, everything we have to meet. For a small organization, this kind of expenses they may not meet. Then some other methods they want to adopt. In personal interview, By asking the questions, we will get the information or answer. At the same time, the observation is also possible there. Observation also provides some information. Whenever we ask some questions, even the body speaks to us. Whenever the interviewee takes a silence or not respond to answer, there is also answer for us. But in another type of interview, telephone interview, these kind of possibilities there we can meet. In telephone interview, comparing with the personal interview, the amount of data will be low because observation is not possible there. But when we consider the time, the telephone interview is preferable. If we want to conduct a personal interview with a person who reside at Delhi and we belongs to Kerala, automatically we have to use more time. But within minutes itself, through a single telephone call, we can communicate with that person and collect information and prepare the interview within half an hour. But days we need in case of face-to-face or the personal interview. And recording is also possible in case of telephone interview. But observation is not possible there. One of the major method to collect information is observation, the body language, evaluation or analysis process. That kind of analysis is not possible in case of telephone interview. Then two type of interviews we specified. One is telephone interview and one is face-to-face interview. Another one is panel interview. Panel discussions are common to us. Panel interview means here or it involves a number of people sitting as a panel with one as chairperson. A group of person will be there and someone will be appointed as a chairperson of that board. And all the people will ask the questions. Especially this is connected with the job opportunities. It is not applicable in case of the journalism field. In some tried interview that is possible, but here usually we does not encourage it because through every interview we are expecting some personal information from them. Exclusive stories we are expecting. Even most of the newspapers cover some stories even in the front page through an interview. Interview is one of the important news source for the journalist. Another one is a group interview. Group interview means that is also related to the employment opportunities. Several candidates are presented and then you will be asked to interact with each other by usually a group discussion. How they conduct their communication process, interpersonal communication process, how they respond to a group, how they can overcome the crisis, how they can convey the information and the like. They evaluate there. Then sequential interview. Several interviews in turn with a different interviewer each time. That is a sequential interview. The interviewer asks questions to test different sets of competencies. Then it is also not a deal with the journalism. Then another one is lunch or dinner interview. Automatically the employer will invite us for a lunch or interview and then they will evaluate how the candidate responds to some situations, especially the table manners, they evaluate and then their interpersonal skills also they will analyze or evaluate. That is the lunch interview. Then competency based interviews, that is also related to the employment opportunities and competencies they want to evaluate, especially in connection with some particular field they want to evaluate. Then another basic classification is formal and informal interview. The formal and informal communication process, all the journalism students and the people those who belongs to the field of journalism are familiar. The formal and informal communications here also, depending on the nature of the interview which it conducts, it can be classified into formal and informal one. Then portfolio based interviews. This is also one of the important type of interview which is related with the job opportunities. And sometimes they will ask to be on online and exhibit the profile and the like, or evaluation process will take place through the online. And make sure whenever we are facing this kind of portfolio interview, the platform, internet platform which you uses to open your resume and the like is supporting to you, and check it advance before reaching to the employer. Otherwise, some problem will automatically take place there. That will provide or that will create a bad feel by the employer. Okay, it is not useful in case of journalists also. Then another one is second interview. Whenever a candidate is suited for the job through the first interview, they will call for the second interview. It is simply known as the second interview. And then one of the important classification we plan to discuss here, which is also applicable in the field of journalism also. One is structured interview, another one is unstructured interview, and then as a subdivision, like subdivision, we can consider the semi-structured interview. Structured interview means whenever someone conducts, we have specified the person those are conducting the interview is known as interviewer. Whenever the interviewer conducts the interview process with a particular structure, not go beyond the frame. The questions they prepare in advance, and sometimes the questions also will be distributed to the interviewee. The advanced or pre-planned questions one by one they will ask. That is structured interview. The unstructured interview means no, this kind of arrangements will not take place there. According to the situation, according to the answer of the previous questions, they will ask the next question. Sub questions they can raise. It is not so easy for a newcomer. The structured interview is prepared for the newcomers, but for the experienced persons, some planning in the minds of the interviewer is only essential, and depend upon the questions or answers, they will turn their questions or they will tune their questions. This is structured. Unstructured also we have specified. No planning is there, but some questions may be there in the mind, and then automatically one by one they will ask, but not written form, not at advanced discussion will not be there. And whenever planning the structured questionnaire, it is essential to have a maintain relationship with the people, those who know the interview in advance, and their experience also we have to make use to prepare the questions. These are the basic type of the interview. And then one more type is essential there, the video interview. Video interview is very common. Some of the platform is familiar to us. For example, the Skype, then the Google Hangout or the FaceTime and the like. That you have to also make use. It provide the feel of a face-to-face interview. And whenever you compare with the expense, low expense only there you have to meet, the amount of data will be high. At the same time, observation process is also possible there. And one of the important thing, we have to check our internet facility and the circumstances or the situations from where we plan to conduct the interview. Before starting the interview, a mock or trial is essential there. Just call our friends to make sure that entire facilities, infrastructure or the technical facilities which you arranged for the interview process is okay. And then check the clarity, check the internet speed and the like. That is essential there. And dressing format is also one of the important thing in the video interview. In telephone interview, that kind of preparation is not necessary there because both of the people are not seeing each other. But in case of the video interview, the formal type of communication process is essential there, and make sure that nothing will interrupt the recording process. Whenever we are sitting in your home with the presence of children, the pets and the like will most probably make some problems. That also should be avoided. Video interview whenever we conduct. Then let us discuss about the interview process. In the beginning itself we specified interview is an art. Then how you have to manage or provide that kind of experience to the interviewee. How you have to start. How we have to close or end or bind up the interview. Or during interview anything you have to remember and the like. The first and the most important thing you have to remember in connection with the interview, we should take a decision where we have to conduct, that means the venue of the interview. Not according to our interest, but as per the interest of the interviewee, we should take a decisions where we have to conduct the interview. And the time and the date also plan in advance. It is also essential. And then whenever we take a decision regarding the time, place and the date, the preference should be given to the interviewee. It does not destroy the routine life of the interviewee. Otherwise, it will negatively make the impact on this interview process. Then, whenever we start the interview, in the beginning itself, it is essential to greet the interviewee according to their custom, not our own custom, but according to their custom, we should greet them. It is also essential. Basically, all these processes we conduct to make a feel that he is in a comfortable position there. Or in another time, a rapport building process there we maintain. Then only the flow of the information will take place from the part of the interviewee to the interviewer. Then regarding the questions, ask only smart questions. Ask only smart questions. Even though we have a lot of time to complete, don't ask unnecessary questions. And then avoid the personal questions in the beginning. Avoid personal questions in the beginning. Then some arrangements need the question preparation. In structured interview, already we have prepared the questions. But in unstructured interview, at least some questions should be in the mind or the memory of the interviewer. A busy person will spend some time with us. The time that you have to use in the maximum way. The preparation is essential there. Then, depend upon the theme, we should raise the questions. We may have some knowledge about some subject or a topic. It is not the opportunity to ask or measure our knowledge level or convince the person that I am so much full-fledged person on that particular topic. Whenever we are getting an opportunity to conduct an interview with a person, there should be a purpose. A particular concept there may be planned, or a particular theme may have framed, or at least a particular incident there will be concentrate. Whatever may be the questions, all these questions should reach to the goal. Don't ask unnecessary questions. And sometimes the interviewer will lose the control over the interview. It does not happen. The entire control of the interview process should be taken by the interviewer. Whatever may the hierarchical level of the interviewee, make sure the interviewer controls the interview process. Entire process should be controlled by the interview. And sometimes the interviewee may deviate from the theme or the topic. It is a duty of the interviewer to take the interviewee to the frame. Otherwise, at last we will feel only the waste of the time after the interview process. We should control very clearly. A frame should be maintained there related to our theme. Otherwise, nothing will happen there. Then, whenever we ask the questions, neutral questions are preferable. Neutral questions. The biased questions may lead to some problems. Whenever we ask the neutral questions, only we can identify the attitude of the interviewee. Otherwise, he may agree or disagree with it. Then, the closed questions or the close-ended questions or the open-ended questions are also can be used. Whenever he uses the open-ended questions, automatically we will get the detailed explanation, detailed information. The close-ended questions, yes or no answers also will provide an opportunity to measure his attitude. That is also best one. Then, regarding the dressing of the interviewer is also important. A comfortable dress code is essential in connection with the interview process. Otherwise, we will lose our confidence to ask the questions. Then, Structured questions is helpful for the newcomers. In the beginning itself you specified. You should take a decision whether you have to follow the unstructured or the structured format, which is more best for you. Then look the subject in the eye and listen carefully to his or her answers. Whenever the interviewee provides some answers to our questions, make sure that we provide keen observation and attention to these answers. Using the eyes, using the ears, using our vision, we can communicate. Eye contact is the most powerful way of communications. It is a duty of the interviewer to ask the questions, then listen the question and make sure the next question is ready with us. Where we should keep the next question? It is very boring reading one by one questions from the structured format or the written format. It is very clearly specifies we should keep the question not in the mind but in the eyes. The next question should rise from the eyes. That means without changing our eye contact, we should be capable to ask the next question. Then only we can control the interview process and the interviewee. It's a duty. You have to ask the question as an interviewer. We should listen the answer provided by the interviewee. At the same time, attempt or preparation to ask the next questions. Along with this all process, it is also essential to write down the information which provided by the interviewee. It is a difficult approach that you have to conduct. We should write down. It is not possible to write the entire sentence or the same answers. We should write in our own language. Our own language does not mean the mother tongue. Language or the people may possess, which they can read, which they can expand or explain. A particular short writing process or the people may know. The same they have to use. And it is essential to change the collected information or the written information within hours itself. Otherwise, some problem will arise there. We can't interrupt or explain the information which we have already collected. Then, not only by asking the questions, by body language also we can control the interviewee. We should evaluate, we should analyze the body language of the interviewee. At the same time, we should also provide a support to the interviewee. Most of the times we may be in the sitting position and the angle of the body also is essential there. Then, observe the record the person's body language is one of the important thing. Then, when the source is speaking, when the interviewee is speaking, nod or make some verbal remark to show you are listening and understand. It is advisable to sit on the edge of your chair and lean forward. Sit at the edge, then lean forward. This body position indicates that we are eager to get that information. We are eagerly waiting for that valuable information. Even the body speaks to the source or the center. Both the source and centers are speaking with body. The body language is one of the important powerful method in the communication system. Then focus on what the source is saying, not on what you will ask next. Your next question will be better if you had the answer to the last one. Listen critically. Critical examination process is necessary there. But there is no chance to interrupt the interviewee. Don't ask long questions. Don't talk too much. It will be boring. Then control your physical actions and mental attitude. Our physical action should control. Sometimes the information or the answer which we are getting from the interview is not supporting to our mental attitude or religious beliefs or political attitude. Whatever may be the answer, we should make sure that entire situation or atmosphere should support the interviewee. we conduct all the arrangements to collect information, not to quarrel with the person. Then, if the subject takes the interview in an unexpected direction, go with him or her. That is also our duty. Make accuracy your goal. Accurate information. Whenever we are facing some difficulty to follow, ask the question again and make sure. Because it is not only for us. The collected information we plan to distribute among lakhs of people through the media. For mass communication, we are conducting the process. Through our channel, through our radio, through our newspaper, we are planning to provide this information. Spreading the information may take place there. Whenever we face some difficulty, the same difficulty will go to the part of the readers. Whenever we are having a misunderstanding, the same will disseminate there, distribute there. Then if you have any doubt, that should be clarified with the interviewee. And after broadcasting or publishing or printing, we should make sure we have to conduct a second interview. Not the entire process is not essential there, just you have to go through the basic information which you plan to publish or broadcast. That we should cross-check with him. Otherwise, some problem will arise there. If it is better to make sure we provide the proper, prominent, correct, accurate information to the readers. Then, tape record is essential there. Sometimes if we make use of a tape recorder for recording process, especially whenever conducts the interview for the print media, in visual media, that kind of operations are not necessary because we are recording the entire information, both visual and audio. Whenever we make use of a tape recorder for recording facility, we should get a permission in advance. Then only we have to make use the information. Then, the two terms, on the record and off the record. During interview process, sometimes whenever we are getting success, the rapport building process is okay. With our interview, we will provide some information which is not for publishing or not for broadcasting. That is known as off the record information. Even though that is recorded form, we should avoid whenever we make use for printing or publication process. It is advisable, there should be a gentleman agreement there we have to maintain. Some information may be there that is valuable for us and especially for our profession, but he instructs to avoid this. It is off the record. It is essential to avoid this. Then, quoting from the interviewee is also essential there. It will provide the feel of a reader like he is hearing something directly from the interview. The quoting is essential, but make sure that it is, if it is the quotation is boring, it should be avoided. That is also one of the important thing. Then, if you want to get an information, simply flatter them or make them feel comfortable. They are so comfortable. Make sure they are comfortable. Like that, you should answer the questions. Then, three terms are there: reportable reality, private reality, and actual reality. Reportable reality during the interview process most probably will tell you and will let you report. That means figure that there is material that your subject knows, will tell you and will let you report. That is a reportable reality. Another one is private reality. Subject knows, will tell you, but will not let you report. Private reality. Then, third one is actual reality, that the subject knows, but will not tell you, much less let you report. Strive to discover through every legal and ethical means this actual reality and report it. This is also important thing, and it is essential to have some arrangements for the interview process because it is an art. Okay, let us conclude here this section. The newcomers are requested to subscribe this channel, and then the next sessions let us meet again. Thank you.